I had a dream that left me deeply unsettled, and I think it was about all of us. Hello, I am Dr. K. Paul Stoller. This morning I woke up from one of the most disturbing dreams I've had in years. Not because it was frightening, but because it felt like it was asking a question humanity may soon have to answer. In the dream, I walked into a house where a man and a woman were conducting genetic experiments. Not ordinary experiments. They had created a creature unlike anything I had ever seen. It had the body of a mouse and the head of a cat. They told me to watch it while they left. Then it escaped. I caught it. I looked into its eyes, and suddenly something unexpected happened. I didn't feel fear. I felt compassion, because I realized it hadn't asked to be created. It wasn't evil. It wasn't a monster. It was simply the consequence of someone else's ambition. Instead of putting it back into the laboratory, I opened the door and let it go, knowing full well it probably couldn't survive. Then one sentence echoed through the dream. We have to put a stop to this. Now, before anyone misunderstands me, I'm not saying dreams predict the future. Most don't. Dreams speak in symbols, but sometimes they ask questions that are worth thinking about. When I woke up, I immediately thought about the recent congressional questioning surrounding Dr. Anthony Fauci and the renewed discussion about gain-of-function research. Whether you support that research or oppose it isn't really the point. The point is something much bigger. For the first time in human history, we can rewrite life itself. CRISPR, gene editing, synthetic biology, human-animal chimeras created for medical research, growing human organs inside animals. These aren't futuristic ideas anymore. They're happening, which means the question has quietly changed. For decades we asked, can we? Now we need to ask, should we? The thing that stayed with me wasn't the scientists, it was the creature. That little hybrid hadn't chosen its existence. It simply inherited the consequences of someone else's decisions. That struck me. Because throughout history, it's almost always the innocent who inherit the consequences of other people's ambitions. Then another thought surfaced. What if humanity has wrestled with this question before? Nearly every ancient civilization tells stories about beings that blur the boundary between species. The Greeks spoke of the chimera, the minotaur, centaurs. Egypt portrayed human bodies with animal heads. Mesopotamian cultures told similar stories. Indigenous traditions around the world describe beings that seem to occupy the space between man and animal. Were these simply myths? Perhaps. Symbols? Quite possibly. But I can't help wondering, why does the same theme appear over and over and over again? That thought led me somewhere unexpected. Atlantis. Whether Atlantis was a real civilization, or Plato's allegory, or something in between, nearly every esoteric tradition tells the same story. Its downfall didn't begin because it lacked technology. It began because technology outpaced wisdom. That theme suddenly felt very modern. I'm not telling you Atlantis created genetic hybrids. I'm not telling you Bigfoot is the product of an ancient laboratory. Those thoughts crossed my mind after I woke up, but they're speculation. What interests me far more is the warning. Because every civilization eventually reaches a moment when it mistakes capability for wisdom. Today, we can edit embryos, transfer genes across species, resurrect extinct traits, build organisms that have never existed before. Artificial intelligence is advancing just as rapidly. The technologies themselves aren't evil, just as fire isn't evil. Nuclear energy isn't evil. The question has always been, what kind of people are holding the match? Perhaps my dream wasn't about genetics at all. Perhaps it was about humility. Perhaps it was asking whether humanity has matured as quickly as its technology. Because the little creature in my dream wasn't the villain. It was simply living with the consequences of someone else's decisions. As I watched it disappear into the world, one sentence echoed again. We have to put a stop to this. Whether that applies to biotechnology, artificial intelligence, environmental engineering, or something we haven't even imagined yet, I'll leave that for you to decide. But I would genuinely like to hear your thoughts. Has humanity reached the point where our wisdom is no longer keeping pace with our power? Let me know in the comments.